Hello, my name is Brian Kinney and I'm an ERP Advisor, and welcome to our webinar, How to Finally Get Your Sales and Accounting Numbers to Match. Now today we're going to talk about some big ideas and explore them in a little more detail. This will help us find out how you can get your sales and accounting numbers to match, but also how connecting the two can help both you and your business as a whole. Now without connecting your CRM and accounting, what could your company be missing out on? Well, you could be missing the ability to recognize profit, efficiency, proper cost management, accuracy, reporting connectivity, an audit trail, and the visibility to make informed business decisions. So let's discuss each of these in more detail and explore our first big idea, which revolves around recognizing profit. Recognizing income does not mean that your company is profitable. A lot of companies with unconnected software have a hard time actually seeing profit. Now, why is that? Well, since the company's CRM and accounting are separated, a lot of sales team members mistakenly take an influx of orders to mean profit. However, do they actually know that they are profitable? Well, as stated before, seeing an influx of sales does not mean that your company is profitable. If your sales team sees an increase in orders but can't see the expenses or the actual income, how can they be sure that the company is profitable? On the other hand, if accounting can't see into your CRM, then how do they know how many invoices should be generated from the orders inside of the CRM? Without connected software, a lot of this talking back and forth between sales and accounting happens outside of the unconnected software. By using an ERP like Striven, however, sales and accounting can not only see the same things, barring permissions of course, but they can also communicate within the software as well. So let's explore our second big idea, which revolves around efficiency. Efficiency is drastically cut due to double entry from having unconnected sales and accounting. By having multiple software systems, a lot of companies state that their staff must re-enter data multiple times to ensure that data is present in all of their systems. This not only doubles or sometimes triples their efforts, but also increases the risk of input errors. If that wasn't enough, fixing those errors can be an even more timely and chaotic process, since users need to investigate, discover what's missing, and then finally fix the issue. Well, with an ERP like Striven, users all work within one software system, and information can be easily found and managed without ever leaving that solution. This not only eliminates your company's need of double entry, but also helps to alleviate those unnecessary mistakes that used to occur. If your company does encounter mistakes, however, it's as easy as ever, since you can search within one system instead of 3 or 4 just to find some mistakes. Altogether, this helps to make sure that your company gets its efficiency back. So let's explore our third big idea, which revolves around cost management. Moving to a more complete system like an ERP could lead to a decrease in expenses. We are in the age of subscriptions. More and more things are paid with a recurring subscription charge, and software is not immune to this trend. As a company takes on more systems, they not only increase their recurring payables, but also the training costs, maintenance costs, and the cost inefficiency overall. That's a lot of things to consider that aren't often thought about, which add to a company's ability to properly manage costs. It's one thing to have a software that helps you report on costs and expenses, but what about the cost and expenses for all the software solutions to do so? Why not cut all of those siloed, separated, unconnected solutions and move to one ERP system like Striven? Moving to one solution will drastically cut your company's subscription fees into one easy bill, and the maintenance labor that was once used on all of those systems to run reports, export, and so on will also get left behind as you switch to the ERP. So let's talk about our fifth big idea today, which revolves around accuracy. If your sales and accounting team never spoke, how accurate would your data and reporting be? Well, if your sales and accounting teams never spoke, how would your orders move to invoices? How would you know when a customer needed a credit or to complete an order? Well, using unconnected software creates much of the same problem, and the only solution is to go around the software entirely. Now, whether that's verbal or electronic communication, your sales and accounting teams actually do communicate. They just enter data in a different software solution. Instead of going around a bad situation to accomplish a goal, why not acquire a resource that eliminates the bad situation altogether? By using an ERP like Striven, sales and accounting can not only see the same data, again, barring permissions, but they can also communicate within the systems as well. Wouldn't it be nice to not only communicate in the system, but also have sales orders generate invoices automatically so that accounting can see it without any manual entry at all? So let's talk about our sixth big idea today, which revolves around reporting connectivity. Merging data from two systems into Excel is a necessary evil when two systems do not speak to each other. Without having connections between sales and accounting, it becomes increasingly difficult to report on sales and accounting without exporting into an external spreadsheet. This also means that reporting accuracy is harder to ensure as everything is outside of their original databases. Getting better insight from your reports is a huge advantage of having a connected system like an ERP. Having a complete ERP solution like Striven means your company has a single unified reporting system for each division. By having an ERP system, informative reports can be readily generated by users of the system at any time. Imagine having the ability to view and compare data across divisions without the struggle of using multiple spreadsheets and emails to do so. Using a software that includes CRM and accounting will help alleviate the need of spreadsheets, ensure data is secure, and also save a lot of time. So let's talk about our seventh big idea, which revolves around an audit trail. Recognizing the history of a sale or transaction can provide valuable insight. Imagine having to track down which sales rep gets credit for an invoice since the sales orders are not connected in the same system. How much time would be lost in communication outside of the system, collaborating to figure out which order matches the invoice and then associating the sales rep to the invoice so that they get credit for their sale? The short answer is a lot of time and resources would go to waste in determining which sales rep gets credit for an invoice. Between communicating outside the systems, trying to match an order to the invoice since the systems aren't connected, and then associating the sales rep on the invoice, let's just say it's a lot. Now imagine being able to click two buttons inside of an ERP solution like Striven to see the same exact information. And now let's talk about our final big idea, which revolves around visibility. Making informed business decisions depends on having financial visibility. Questions like, can we renovate the office? Can we hire a new employee? Can we purchase a new fleet vehicle? These questions depend on the knowledge that you have the funds and financial stability to act accordingly. If you don't have data to help you answer these questions, how confident would you be to act? One benefit of having your sales and accounting in one system like an ERP is that it allows complete access to all of your important processes in your business. Making data from every division easily accessible inside of one solution can let you easily monitor your sales, purchasing, accounting, and much more on a daily basis. On top of that, having the access of your company's information in one system allows for more collaboration between employees, teams, and divisions. Having complete visibility provides you with more ways and opportunities to see important details and to make it possible to make quick decisions in confidence. Your company can rest assured that the full picture can be seen at any one time to help you make very important business decisions. And having the right tools is a huge step in making informed business decisions. And with an ERP, you're one step closer to that. So now that we've gone through all of our big ideas and we've explored some details within them, let's go into an ERP like Striven and explore what connecting your sales and accounting looks like, but also what can be gained from this. And this will ultimately help us gauge how you can get your sales and accounting numbers to finally match to each other. So now we're inside of an ERP, which, as stated before, connect everything together. So sales and accounting is connected, and you can even go beyond that and connect your project management and your HR and service management together as well. Now let's talk about our big ideas. Remember, we had recognizing profit, efficiency, cost management, accuracy, reporting connectivity, an audit trail, and of course visibility to make informed decisions. So let's start with our number one big idea, which was recognizing profit and how difficult it is with unconnected systems for sales members to see income and also accounting members to see sales to know when to generate invoices. So if I go to the Customers tab, I have a lot of information here, and down here in the Sales section we have orders, which are all your sales orders, and you can even approve quotes internally. But if I click on Financial, I can also generate an invoice, I can generate a time and expense invoice, and much more. Now if I click the Orders button, this is going to take me to the sales orders list. So this used to exist in our unconnected CRM software, but now it exists all in the same solution as our accounting. So here I can see all of our orders. We can see that one's pending approval, but most have been either completed or approved. Now what's really cool is you can see the connectivity work all on this one screen. As demonstrated over here on the far right, we have our invoiced total. So we have our order total and how much of that has been invoiced so far, and we can see the differences between the order totals for each and the invoice totals for each. In this screen alone, we can see our connectivity between our income, which is represented by invoices, against our order totals. Now if we want to recognize profit, we can do that with one easy report called the Sales Order Profitability Report. We can do that by clicking the Reports tab, and underneath the Sales section we have Order Profitability. So before, where sales teams were communicating with accounting teams outside of the software because they had no electronic means to do so outside of their email service, we can now click one button, which is the Order Profitability, click Search, and just like that we can see all the orders, which are represented by the numbers here and the name of the order, along with the customer who they're associated with, the status, we can see the order total, how much we have in purchase orders, our revenue, which is our invoice totals, our amount of billable labor, our expense totals, which are our bills for those purchase orders, our total cost, and then finally our profit. We can also see our profit margin percentage and our profit percentage over here on the far right. So all of these can help us see exactly how much profit we're making from our sales orders with the purchase orders that are associated along with the bills and invoices. All together connecting and making sure that your invoice totals are matching your sales order totals and that purchase orders are then created as bills. So your AP and your AR are talking to each other simultaneously, all within one system to ensure your numbers are matching correctly. Let's talk about our second big idea, which revolved around efficiency and all that double or sometimes triplicated entry just to make sure that numbers are matching between your CRM and accounting systems. Now by using an ERP like Striven, all of that unnecessary re-entering of data is completely and totally eliminated. Now that is because, like we saw before, everything is interconnected. If I go into my Orders tab, I can see all my orders as we saw before, but if I click into an order, I can click the Related To tab and see all the invoices, the purchase orders, and the bills associated with the sales order. And all of that is right inside of the system, and I can easily find that by clicking on the hyperlink. And now I'm in an accounting transaction like an invoice. And because things are generated from each other within the software, there's no need to re-enter data. Data just pulls over, which we'll discuss more in a little bit. But all of that double and triplicated entry, that's the necessary evil of having unconnected software solutions, is completely eliminated with a connected solution like Striven. And you and your company can both get your efficiency back. Now, along with efficiency, as we stated, everything is in one software solution by using an ERP like Striven. And that brings us to our third big idea, which revolved around cost management. Remember, that was taking away all your recurring software bills and moving them into one easy bill payment that an ERP like Striven provides. And with that, I'm no longer paying for my CRM subscription, my accounting subscription. If I have a project management solution, I'm no longer paying for that subscription, or my HR subscription, or anything else like that. I'm strictly paying for one easy to manage bill, and that can help me with my cost management. But I also have reporting to help me with my cost management overall, and I can run things like my P&L report, and this will help me see all my income, my expenses, and cost of goods sold for a certain period of time. I can also run things like my AR aging to see what customers owe me, my AP aging to see what I owe my vendors. I can also run a budget and forecast to see if I'm under budget or over budget, and all of these in-house reports can help me manage my costs while using the system, but also help manage my software costs overall by cutting out all my recurring software bills into one easy to manage bill payment for an ERP like Striven. So now let's talk about another big idea, which is accuracy. Now remember, this is when your sales and accounting have to talk outside of their software solutions, since the CRM and accounting systems aren't connected and they can't see things like invoices and sales orders to make sure that the numbers are accurate to each other. Well, by running something like the order profitability, we saw how you can cross-reference numbers. We also saw with the profit and loss report how your sales and your expenses can be managed here as well. You can also run a balance sheet within the same exact system to make sure that your accounts receivable and everything else looks accurate and is well balanced. I also have what I like to call helpful hyperlinks within entities like an order and an invoice. So if I go back to my sales orders list, I can go into any order and I can click the Related To tab. So if I want to make sure that my sales order matches my invoice, I can scroll down, see my my sales order total, and then click this Related To tab. And I can see that my invoice total matches my order total, but I can also jump into that invoice and see all the information and make sure that things are mirroring correctly and that my numbers between my sales and accounting are matching as they should. If team members have any questions or they need to communicate to each other, there's also a messaging system within the ERP as well. So if I go back to my order, I have a message right here. And I can just message an employee. I can also message a contact if I need to ask clarifying questions. But if I just message a contact about something, they will not only get an email, but that email will be captured in the system as well, and so will the replies. So everything will be tracked within Striven, and communication and collaboration will be promoted within the software as well. And all of this helps to increase your accuracy of not only your numbers, but also your overall reports. Speaking of reports, let's talk about another big idea, which was reporting connectivity. With a CRM and accounting system unconnected from each other, you have to export everything into an Excel spreadsheet, and then you might have to do some formulas and things to get all of those calculations and totals to add up between your accounting and orders to make sure that numbers are accurate. With a connected ERP like Striven, all of those reports are run in-house. So you can see your AR aging to see your invoices. You can view your AP aging to see your bills. You can view your order status to make sure that your orders are being completed on time and track how much of your orders have been invoiced. So here I can see all my order totals. If there's any change orders, I can see those totals. And then I have my invoice totals in this section as well. And this helps completely connect all my reporting between a CRM and accounting. And I can even see the total that has not yet been invoiced for certain orders as well to make sure that I'm not falling behind with certain order workflows. All of these are just a few examples of how reporting connectivity exists within an ERP solution like Striven and how it can really boost your efficiency and your overall workflow within a software solution. So now let's move on to another big idea, which is an audit trail. Remember, this is how to recognize the history of a sale or transaction and how hard it is to see changes in between when an invoice and a sales order were made if the two CRM and accounting solutions are not connected to each other. Well, with an ERP like Striven, I have a lot of tools to help give me valuable insight on changes that have been made with certain entities. For instance, if I just click on an order number right here, I can jump into a few tools that will help me see changes that have been made, and one of them is an audit log, and you'll see a number 2 here. And this will actually show me when the order was created and when it was modified. And this will also show me the changes. So it'll show me that the order is approved and the invoice was changed from none to full. And then if I need to, I can also jump into the invoice as we showed before by clicking the Related To tab and then the invoice. And we have information here as well. I have an audit log for the invoice. Because there was no changes made, the audit log hasn't captured any of them. I can click the posting journal to make sure that my debits and credits are affecting correctly to the correct accounts. And I even have a history tab. And this will show me when the transaction was created and when it was modified. So if I go back to the invoice by clicking this button here, I'll make a very subtle change by adding $5 onto the unit price, and I'll save the invoice. Now when I go back to the history tab, I now have my modification, and my modification is highlighted in orange as we have made a change to the original, and the original can be viewed over here simply by clicking, and now those changes are not highlighted because that was the original state of the transaction. All of these things will help you see changes that have been made between your sales orders and your invoices, and also within those entities themselves. Now our last big idea, the visibility to be able to make informed business decisions. And without a connected CRM and accounting software, it's increasingly difficult to get a really good handle on how much income you have coming in from your orders and how much profit you have with your accounting overall, since those two systems are not connected to each other. Here, if I need to make a really important business decision, I can run anything from my balance sheet to see exactly what my bank status and my accounts receivable status is, but also my liabilities and accounts payable, and I can even make sure that my accounts are balanced and I have enough to cover whatever business decision I have to make coming up. I can run my profit and loss to make sure that I have enough income and I'm generating enough profit to have a buffer for some decisions that I need to make. I can run my budget to make sure that I'm on target with my budgets and I'm not overspending, and that my forecast can show me the amount of income that I stand to make in the future. All of these things can help me really make informed decisions in confidence. A lot of reports are available with an ERP like Striven, and all these tools help to ensure that you can make important business decisions in confidence by having the tools to back you up.